When you hear the word discipline, what comes to mind? For many, it brings up images of punishment, strict rules, and a life without joy. We think of it as a rigid system designed to take away our freedom. We see it as the harsh voice that says no to everything we want. This common view is not only wrong, but it also holds us back from achieving our greatest potential. We have been taught to believe that discipline is a cage, but this could not be further from the truth. The real purpose of discipline is not to restrict you, but to set you free. It is the tool that allows you to build the life you truly desire, one small decision at a time. It is not about what you lose, but about what you gain. True discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It is about choosing who you want to become, and then taking the necessary actions to get there. It is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Think of it this way. Without discipline, you are a passenger in your own life, carried away by the currents of your moods, impulses, and distractions. With discipline, you become the captain of your ship. You decide the destination, and you steer the vessel through calm waters and stormy seas. Discipline gives you control. It empowers you to make conscious choices instead of reacting to whatever comes your way. It is the ultimate form of self-respect. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is about showing up even when you do not feel like it. It is about making a promise to your future self and keeping it. This is a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of seeing discipline as a burden, we can learn to see it as an act of self-care. Every time you choose to work out when you are tired, you are caring for your future health. Every time you choose to focus on your work instead of scrolling through social media, you are investing in your future success. These small acts of discipline compound over time, creating massive results that once seemed impossible. So, let's redefine discipline. It is not an external force pushing you around. It is an internal compass guiding you forward. It is the quiet strength that helps you resist short-term temptations in favor of long-term rewards. It is the commitment you make to yourself to build a better life. Discipline is not about becoming a robot, devoid of emotion. It is about becoming the architect of your own existence, designing a life that is meaningful, purposeful, and truly your own. It is the ultimate expression of freedom, because it gives you the power to choose your path and walk it with intention. We all know the feeling of motivation. It is a powerful surge of energy and excitement that makes us feel like we can conquer the world. We get inspired by a book, a movie, or a successful person, and we decide to make a big change. We promise to start a new diet, learn a new skill, or launch a new project. For a few days, or maybe even a few weeks, everything feels easy. The initial rush of enthusiasm carries us forward. But what happens when that feeling fades? What happens when the novelty wears off and the work becomes hard? This is where many of us stumble and fall. We wait for motivation to return, but it often does not. Motivation is a wonderful thing, but it is an unreliable partner on the journey to success. It is like a spark. It can start a fire, but it cannot keep it burning. It is fleeting, emotional, and highly dependent on external circumstances. You might feel motivated on a sunny day after a good night's sleep, but that feeling can vanish on a rainy morning when you are tired and stressed. Relying on motivation to achieve your goals is like trying to sail a ship with no rudder, hoping the wind will always blow in the right direction. It is a strategy for failure, because life is full of headwinds and changing currents. This is where discipline comes in. If motivation is the spark, discipline is the slow-burning fire that keeps you going long after the initial excitement has disappeared. Discipline is the system you build that ensures you make progress regardless of how you feel. It is about doing what you said you would do, even when the part of you that made the promise is no longer in charge. It is the quiet commitment that shows up every single day, in good times and in bad. Discipline understands that feelings are temporary, but progress is built on consistent action. It does not wait for the perfect mood or the right moment. It creates its own momentum. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they wake up every single day feeling motivated and inspired? Of course not. They are human, just like the rest of us. They have days when they are tired, bored, and tempted to quit. The difference is that they do not let their feelings dictate their actions. Their success is not built on a foundation of fleeting motivation, but on the solid bedrock of discipline. They have created habits and routines that carry them forward automatically. They show up, do the work, and let the results follow. This is the secret. You do not need more motivation. You need better systems and a stronger commitment to discipline. Building discipline can feel like a monumental task, but it does not have to be. We can break it down into smaller, manageable components. Instead of trying to change everything at once, we can focus on 3 fundamental pillars that support a disciplined life. These are the foundations upon which all other habits are built. The first pillar is simple, yet profound: getting enough quality sleep. We often treat sleep as a luxury or something to be sacrificed in the name of productivity. This is a critical mistake. Sleep is the foundation of our physical and mental energy. Without it, our ability to focus, make good decisions, and regulate our emotions plummets. A well-rested mind is a disciplined mind. When you are sleep-deprived, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for willpower and self-control, is impaired. This makes you more likely to give in to cravings, procrastinate on important tasks, and react emotionally to challenges. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night is not laziness. It is a strategic investment in your discipline. Create a simple evening routine. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Make your room dark and cool. By mastering your sleep, you are setting yourself up for success before the day even begins. You are giving your brain the fuel it needs to perform at its best. The second pillar of discipline is planning your day. A disciplined life is an intentional life, and intention requires a plan. Waking up without a clear idea of what you need to accomplish is like setting sail without a map. You will drift aimlessly, pulled in different directions by distractions and other people's priorities. Take just 5 or 10 minutes each evening or morning to outline your most important tasks for the day. This simple act of planning brings clarity and focus. It transforms a vague desire to be productive into a concrete set of actions. You no longer have to waste mental energy deciding what to do next. The decision has already been made. Your plan does not need to be complicated. In fact, simpler is often better. Identify your 1 to 3 most important tasks, the ones that will move you closest to your long-term goals. Schedule them into your day, preferably in the morning when your willpower is at its peak. This practice, often called time blocking, creates a commitment. It tells your brain that this block of time is reserved for a specific, important activity. By planning your day, you are no longer just reacting to what happens. You are proactively designing your time to align with your values and ambitions. You are taking control of your agenda before someone or something else does. You know, many people believe that discipline is a fixed trait, something you either have or you don't. They might even say, "I'm just not a disciplined person." But let me tell you, this is a limiting belief that overlooks one of the most incredible facts about our brains. They can change. The concept of neuroplasticity reveals that our brains are not static. They are constantly adapting and reorganizing based on our thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. Just like a muscle, the parts of your brain responsible for self-control can be strengthened through practice. Every time you exercise discipline, you're quite literally building a more disciplined brain. And this is not just a metaphor, it is a biological reality. Think of willpower as a muscle. When you first start going to the gym, you can't lift the heaviest weights. Your muscles are weak, and they tire easily. But with consistent training, they grow stronger. The same is true for your self-control. The first time you try to resist a distraction or push through a difficult task, it feels incredibly hard. Your willpower muscle gets tired easily. But if you keep practicing, it gets a little easier each time. You're forging new neural pathways in your brain, making the disciplined choice the more automatic choice. Every small win, choosing to read a book instead of watching TV, or going for a walk instead of staying on the couch, is like a rep for your brain. This process of strengthening your discipline is gradual. You won't become a master of self-control overnight. The key is to start small and build momentum. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once, pick one small, manageable habit. For example, commit to meditating for just 2 minutes every morning. Or decide to drink 1 glass of water as soon as you wake up. The goal is not the action itself, but the practice of showing up and being consistent. Each time you successfully complete your small habit, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain. I am the kind of person who follows through. This builds self-trust and makes it easier to tackle bigger challenges later on. It's also important to understand that your willpower is a finite resource, especially at the beginning. It can get depleted throughout the day as you make decisions and resist temptations. This is why it's so crucial to tackle your most important tasks in the morning, when your willpower reserves are at their highest. It's also why creating systems and habits is so powerful. Habits automate your behavior, so you don't have to rely on conscious willpower to make the right choice. The disciplined action becomes the default. By understanding the science, you can work with your brain, not against it, to build the discipline you need to achieve your goals. There is one habit that will destroy your discipline faster than any other, the habit of making excuses. An excuse is a story we tell ourselves to justify why we didn't do what we said we would do. I was too tired. I didn't have enough time. It was too hard. Something came up. These stories may seem harmless, but they are incredibly dangerous. Each time we make an excuse, we're giving away our power. We are positioning ourselves as victims of our circumstances, rather than the creators of our lives. We're reinforcing the belief that we're not in control, and this belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Excuses are a trap because they feel good in the short term. They protect our ego from the discomfort of failure or inaction. It's much easier to blame traffic for being late than to admit we didn't plan properly. It's more comfortable to say we're too busy than to acknowledge we're prioritizing comfort over our goals. But this short-term comfort comes at a huge long-term cost. The more excuses we make, the weaker our sense of personal responsibility becomes. We start to believe our own stories, and we stop trying to change. We become passive observers in our own lives, waiting for conditions to be perfect before we take action. The antidote to excuses is ownership. Ownership is the radical belief that you are 100% responsible for your life. This doesn't mean you're to blame for everything that happens to you. There will always be external factors you can't control, but you are always in control of your response. Ownership means you stop blaming other people, your past, or your circumstances. Instead, you focus on what you can do. You ask yourself, what is my role in this situation, and what can I do to move forward? This shift in mindset is the single most powerful step you can take towards building discipline. Taking ownership is liberating. It might feel heavy at first, but it's the source of all personal power. When you stop making excuses, you reclaim your ability to create change. You're no longer waiting for the world to give you permission to succeed. You're giving it to yourself. Instead of saying, I don't have time, you say, how can I make time for what is important? Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, you say, what do I need to learn to get better? This proactive approach transforms you from a victim into a problem solver. It puts you back in the driver's seat of your life, with your hands firmly on the wheel. When we think of the ultimate embodiment of discipline, it's hard not to think of the Navy SEALs. These elite warriors undergo some of the most grueling training on the planet, designed to push them far beyond their perceived physical and mental limits. The pinnacle of this training is Hell Week, 5.5 days of continuous, brutal challenges with a total of only about 4 hours of sleep. It's a test designed to break even the strongest candidates. Yet, those who succeed do not just survive. They demonstrate a level of discipline that seems almost superhuman. Their experience offers profound lessons for all of us. The first lesson from the SEALs is that discipline is forged in adversity. It's not built when things are easy. It's built when you're cold, tired, hungry, and every fiber of your being is screaming at you to quit. The instructors during Hell Week are not just testing physical strength, they're testing mental fortitude. They want to see who will keep going when there's no motivation left, when the only thing driving them forward is their commitment to their team and their mission. This teaches us that the greatest growth happens at the edge of our comfort zone. True discipline is about choosing to do the hard thing. especially when we don't want to. Another key principle from SEAL training is the idea of embracing the suck. This means accepting that the situation is difficult and uncomfortable, and choosing to push through it anyway, without complaint. It's about shifting your mindset from, "This is terrible," to, "This is the reality, and I will deal with it." This mental reframing is a powerful tool for discipline. In our own lives, we often resist difficulty. We complain, we procrastinate, and we wish things were easier. The SEAL mindset teaches us to accept the challenge as part of the process. The workout is supposed to be hard. The project is supposed to be complex. Embracing the suck allows you to conserve mental energy and focus it on the task at hand. Finally, the SEALs show us the power of breaking down overwhelming challenges into small, manageable steps. During Hell Week, thinking about the full 5.5 days is a recipe for quitting. Instead, the successful candidates focus only on getting to the next meal, the next sunrise, or even just the next step. This strategy is directly applicable to our own goals. When you feel overwhelmed by a big project, don't think about the finish line. Just focus on the very next action. Write one sentence, make one phone call, do one push-up. This one-step-at-a-time approach makes any challenge seem conquerable. It builds momentum and proves that discipline is just a series of small, consistent actions. We have explored what discipline is, why it matters more than motivation, and how to build it through practical pillars and mental shifts. We've learned from the science of our brains and the example of elite warriors. Now only one question remains. When will you start? It's easy to read an article like this and feel inspired, making grand plans for the future. We tell ourselves, "I'll start on Monday," or "I'll begin after this big project is done," or "I'll wait for the new year." We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect set of circumstances. But the perfect moment never arrives. The desire to wait for the perfect time is a form of procrastination. It's our fear of failure and discomfort dressed up as a sensible strategy. In reality, waiting is the riskiest strategy of all. Every day you wait is a day you're reinforcing the habit of inaction. Every moment you delay is a moment you're allowing your undisciplined self to remain in control. The truth is, you'll never be 100% ready. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be a reason to wait. The most successful people don't wait for confidence. They build confidence through action. They start before they feel ready. The most important step you can take is the first one. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. In fact, it's better if it's not. The first step should be so small, so simple, that you can't say no to it. Do you want to become a reader? Don't commit to a book a week. Just read one page tonight. Do you want to get fit? Don't sign up for a marathon. Just put on your workout clothes. The goal of the first step is not to achieve a massive result. The goal is to break the inertia. It's to prove to yourself that you can start. Action is the spark that ignites momentum. Today is October 10th, 2025. This day can be just another day, or it can be the day you decided to take the first step toward the person you want to become. Don't get lost in planning the entire journey. Just focus on the step directly in front of you. Discipline is not a destination you arrive at. It's a path you walk every day. Each small, disciplined choice you make is a vote for your future self. Each time you show up when it's hard, you're building a stronger identity. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Start now. Start small. The person you are destined to be is waiting.